Hi, I'm Mike. Welcome back to Our Wyoming Life, where today we are dealing with, no, not Bean. Hi, Bean. How are you? She's probably mad she's not out here. We are dealing with the incinerator, which I'm going to talk about a little bit, but we are actually going to be emptying this thing out, which is a bit of a process, but it should be a lot of fun. So make sure you subscribe and stick around. Our Wyoming Life. Alrighty guys, welcome back. We are tackling this project today. This is the incinerator, and over the next few videos I'm actually going to bring you along with me as we do some things around the ranch that are not really what you would consider ranchy. We're not going to be working with cows, we're not going to be messing around with I don't know, arrow quip or anything like that, but we are going to be doing a few things around the ranch that honestly a lot of people don't get to see, and that's because there's some of those projects that kind of get pushed to the back or they're done very quickly. I thought I'd bring you guys along for some of this. So this is our incinerator. We use it for burning paper trash on the ranch, and I built this probably back in, I have to think about it, maybe 2010 or so. I built it prior to YouTube. Before that, we actually used to burn trash in an open barrel, which was not really a good idea when you have high winds and stuff like that. So this thing actually really did come in handy. If I can find any pictures of the building process, I'll throw them in here. If you don't see any, well, then I couldn't find them. This thing actually started out as an anhydrous ammonia tank, which I kind of butchered. We cut some doors in it, we cut the end so you can open up the end to dump it out, and we put a big old long chimney on it. That's to get the draft moving up and through. It's got an intake down here on the bottom where it can suck in air, and basically as things are burning, it's just moving all the way through there. Now this thing works great. It's great for burning trash on the ranch. In fact, when I first built it, I actually sprayed it with barbecue spray paint or barbecue paint, which is supposed to be good up to like 3,000 degrees or some stupid thing. Obviously it burned all of that paint off, and now there is none of that paint left on it. How you load it is through the top. It's just got a door here, and you just throw your cardboard and trash and stuff like that right in there, and then you're able to burn it safely in an enclosed environment. You can see we've got a little bit of trash in here that has not been burned that we're going to have to get out before we dump this thing out. Because we only burn trash or paper trash, we can actually use the ashes here in compost, which does help out with some of the levels in the compost. But to be able to start emptying it, first I've got to move it out a little bit. I had a plan to put down a tarp to empty it on and pick that tarp up with the tractor. I can't find my tarp, so either it didn't exist or it's lost, but who knows. I do remember having a tarp, but I don't know where it's at. So we're gonna grab the skid steer, we're gonna move this thing out here a little ways, and then we gotta get, well, we have to figure out how to pick it up in the air and dump it out. So what I'm gonna do is pick it up with the skid steer. I have no idea how much this thing weighs, but I know it's heavy, and the skid steer is pretty much the only way to move it around without actually chaining it up and possibly hurting yourself. So I want to get it out here into an open area where we can dump it out. Now if I can get out from underneath it, there we go. And set it down. The main reason I wanted to move it away from the fence over here is not because the Indians are going to bug me, but when I lift it up, if it tips or anything, I don't want it to fall into the fence. Let me show you a couple really quick things about this thing. When I did build it, I did think about, you know, how you're going to have to clean this thing out. So one of the things I did was I built a door on this end of it. Now this whole thing swings open, or it used to. It may not want to open now. Why is it not wanting to open? Probably because this thing is down in the rock. This is that input, or that inlet, air inlet type deal, which actually has a damper on it, which turns if it's not full of crap. And I think I put it a little bit too low. Maybe if we move some of the rocks. Oh my gosh. This thing does not want to budge. There we go. All right. It's digging into the dirt. There we go. That allows it to open up and dump out. Let's get some of this stuff out of here that hasn't burned yet. We'll light it up when we're done. Make some more ash. Now, luckily, the wind isn't blowing 400 miles an hour today. And in fact, if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram or even on YouTube Shorts, today I was on top of the shop actually replacing batteries in our weather station. So, very good thing the wind isn't blowing today. All right, so there we go. We got it cleaned out. And we should be just left with ash, paper ash, left in here. Although I can see a couple pop cans that we're probably gonna have to pick out. Like that. That can't go into compost. There's a bone of something. So another nice thing about the incinerator, since we found the bone, is that if we have animals that pass away, especially small animals, or we catch a raccoon or a skunk or something like that, we can throw it in this incinerator. This thing gets plenty hot to be able to burn up anything that you put in it. So works out really well for that. Now that we got all that stuff out of here, let's see if I can get this door open the rest of the way. There we go. And now you can see how full of ash that it is. Well, usually when it gets to about this point, I've got to empty it out. Otherwise, the ash starts falling out and it just becomes a giant pain in the butt. So we are to the point where we need to empty it out. And to do that, I think we're going to need a tractor. But before I grab the tractor, I'm actually going to tie this door back, because when I lift it in the air, I don't want this door to close on me. Trust me, I learned this from experience. So I am just going to use a chain here to keep this door open when we lift it up. So my tarp idea was that I would just empty it on the tarp and then, you know, put a rope through the grommets and lift it up with the tractor, take it over to the compost pile and drop it all in there. But since I can't find my tarp, that really doesn't do me any good. And so now we're just going to dump it directly onto the ground. Then we'll use the bucket of the tractor to scoop up as much as we can. We'll have to use a shovel probably to pick up a lot of it. And then we can take it over to the compost pile after we sift through it, make sure we get anything out of there that's not supposed to be in there. In addition to the tractor, I'm going to need a chain. Hopefully make this a little easier. Not a really long chain, pretty short one, because we're going to try to lift it up as little as possible. I really don't want that whole thing dangling out there too far. So yeah, let's head over. So like I said, I'm going to actually be bringing you guys along for the next maybe couple weeks, depending on how many videos I come up with some of the strange things that we have to do around here on the ranch that you may not suspect. I know a lot of people want to think ranching is just chasing cows around all day and having fun doing that, which that is part of it. But there's a lot of other stuff that needs done, like emptying the incinerator or trimming hooves or anything like that that we normally don't put into videos, because I kind of find them to be a little mundane. But stuff like this actually, you know, is good because it's all about problem solving and being able to figure out the best way to make things happen and try to do them as safely as possible without breaking equipment, without breaking anything. You don't want to break anything. So, and we have some nice days, so this will be kind of a good time to get this done. So we are back over here at our incinerator, and what we're going to do here is try to get ourselves somewhat lined up. Like I said, this thing is pretty heavy, but I think we can get it on the edge of the bucket, hopefully, chain it up and lift it up. And then hopefully it'll empty out. But sometimes that's easier said than done. Over here, I did install, well, I don't know if I put this on here or it was on there already, but a pick point, which helps out quite a bit. And all we have to do is chain this thing up to our pick point. I don't know if I trust that. I might want to do this differently. Well, I can do this. There we go. That'll work. So now all we have to do is lift it up in the air, and hopefully all of this slides right out. Now, like I said, it's not too windy out here, so that's a good thing. I don't have to worry about ash blowing everywhere, but it will kind of blow around. It's never not windy, it's just less windy. All right, here we go. Still not empty. Well, we're getting there. What I didn't anticipate is the fact that there's a lot of stuff that probably got wet on the bottom, so it's kind of hanging up in there. So we're going to try to shake it out a little bit, see if that'll work. Well, that really wasn't what I was planning on doing, but let's take a look in here and see. It's almost empty. Got a little bit of stuff kind of chunked up in there. But look at all this stuff that got burned. Metal. Metal. Probably not the best things to be putting in the compost pile. So, I may have to rethink my plan with this just a little bit. We've got a little bit more to get out of there. I think I'm going to try to set this down on the end, if I can. If I have enough chain, I'm not sure if I do. If I can set it down, then I can open up the door and kind of shovel the rest out. might be about as good as I can get it, but it's on the ground. So now we can open up this door and I can just shovel the rest out by hand. Maybe. Ow. Stay. Stupid gravity. All right, I'm a little dirty. I'm gonna call that good. Now we gotta try to set this thing back down so that we can put it back where it's supposed to be. All right. Well, that worked a little better than I thought it was going to. Fun, fun. Got a bit of a mess to clean up. Hopefully the tractor will help us out with most of this. And like I said, there's a lot of metal in here, so we may not be able to actually put this in the compost pile. And if you're wondering who put metal in the incinerator, it was probably me. I'll take the blame. But we need to get this thing out of the way so that we can come in with the bucket of the tractor and scoop this up and get it over to the compost pile. So we know that we're going to have trouble. Well, we can try. We're probably going to have trouble closing this door. But if we can get this closed, and then we'll bring the skid steer back in. It's pretty dang clean. It's never going to be perfect, but this will get us all set up again for the next few months anyway. Well, let's see if I can get this door closed. Maybe not. Okay. There's a solution to this problem. I've come to realize there aren't too many problems in life that you can't solve if you have a skid steer. Now we should be able to close this door pretty easily. Just like that. And then it's just a matter of bringing it back over and putting it in place. Which I can't really see where it's supposed to go. I got it. Start refilling it. And then we'll burn it again. But first we got to clean up this mess. We're going to do that with the bucket of the tractor and a shovel. Okay, so this will go in the dumpster. I'll just get rid of it. It's not worth trying to sort out for the compost pile, like I said. But this is a good example of the things that need done on the ranch that, well, they just need done. And might burn an hour or so to get them done. Might even break a sweat. But I'm extremely happy that, you know, what, 4 days ago, it was minus 30 degrees out here. So now being in the 40s, I'll come out and do this all day long. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. It was a little precarious there for a while. We worked it out. Thank you for your help. Make sure you follow along because we are going to be taking a look at some of the more mundane but somewhat exciting tasks on the ranch, including shearing hooves. That's coming up, and a whole lot more. So make sure you subscribe, follow along as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary and clean up ash and then go take a shower. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We'll see you next time on Our Wyoming Life.